first time I raced at Stateline, I think, was 59. I went up there with a coupe that I had the wrong engine in it. It was a cheater. They caught me before I ever got in there. So they put on just a special race, and I think there was 4 of us that were cheating. And
how'd you do?
Terrible. I was last.
Last, okay. Fourth.
Yep.
Fourth.
Yeah, I was fourth. 64 was the first I started running steady. And we were running, they run the Sportsman's Weekly up there then. And yeah, Ronnie Blackmer was my role model. He was the best there was in sportsman, in my opinion. And as far as being an all-around racer, he was too. So. The number I come up with that because Ronnie had 4, and Russ Thompson, his number was always 39, and they were a couple of my early idols. The next best number was 40, so that's where I got my number from. And the Sportsman?
Sportsman, dear.
Back then was Jay Byler, Lyle Brown.
Sportsman, you won 38 feature wins and 3 track titles. And one of your bigger wins was in 1976 with something called a 150 lap team race. What was that all about?
That was a race that was supposed to start at Stateline. We're going to race 75 laps of it. Well, they got rained out, so they started at Erie the first 75 laps, and I went up there and I won that. I think probably because Ronnie broke or something. We stand and wait for the race to happen. A rock kicked up and broke my glasses and got glass in my eye. And they put a patch over my eye. So we started the race. I started on the pole, being the winner and everything of the other race. So as soon as the race started, I pulled that patch off because I couldn't see out of one eye. So I went on and I won that half of the race too. So
wow.
But that was probably my first biggest race that I've ever won. First time I got into late model was in '74. Jerry Hoskins come up and asked me if I'd be interested in racing a car for him, and all this I didn't mind because I didn't have any money in it. So that's how I got started in racing in '74 myself, late model.
What was the difference?
Well, the first time I tried driving a late model, I drove for another guy, and it felt like driving a school bus compared to my Sportsman. Your Sportsmans were so much lighter and smaller and quicker. Mm-hmm. And they were a lot of fun to drive, but by the time I got into late model, they downsized them a lot with the Marrows and stuff, so that became a lot of fun too. That was my second bought chassis, factory built chassis. And well, the first one I bought, I ended up winning the '79 championship, circuit champion with that. And that was a Dennis Franks chassis, but I was wanting to run some invitational races too, and this Jig-A-Lo was a hot setup then, so I seen one that was for sale, a guy down in Charleston, West Virginia. So I went down and bought it, and he says, I couldn't make this thing go around the track. And he says, and he was a top driver too, but this car just didn't fit him. And so I took it home that following week. We started running invitationals with it. Ohio to Johnny Appleseed 100. And I set fast time out there. And the track got real dusty, and I think I didn't win it. I came in 3rd or 4th or something like that. And that was on a Friday night. And the next night it was at Wayne County Speedway, and I went out there and set another set fast time and a new track record. And this guy was following me around that I bought the car from. He was amazed. He just couldn't believe it because he couldn't win anything. But well, three tracks in a row, I set fast time, and 2 of them were track champion, or the fast time that, you know, was set. And the following year, I come up Stateline with it, and the car was just untouchable. It was just so fast. And that was a good car, and then I ended up thinking it was getting weak, so I sold it and had to chase that for a while. Sold it to Steve Halpin. That was probably his best racing he ever done. He won quite a few races with it.
This was sort of a pioneer move just for Stateline to buy a chassis like that, a professional type chassis. I mean, it's taken for granted now, but
right.
What do the other drivers think when you roll in with this pre-packaged chassis?
Well, I don't think they're real happy today. I think myself and Ron Davies were the first ones that ever come up there with a bottom chassis.
You kind of revolutionized and changed really the way racing was done at Stateline.
Pretty much so, yeah. Can't remember how many years I raced late model.
We won 76 late model races because our guy Randy Anderson, Mr. Statistician Extraordinaire.
Oh yeah. Well, between the 2
sure,
tracks.
Yeah, exactly. Did you have a favorite between Stateline or Erie's?
The Stateline, probably, you know, you'd have to say that was the more fun to win.
Who were your big competition late model?
Oh, Dick Barton. He got to be the, you know, the top dog. Then I raced until '96.
And you won a couple of races even your last year, didn't you?
Yeah, a couple of them.
Who finally convinced you to say, hang up your helmet?
Me.
You? What was it that caused you to do that?
Well, you've got to be any good in racing, you've got to have your whole mind in it. And to be any good in business, you got to have your whole mind in it too. So I really got to the point where I couldn't do both, and I wanted to retire and have something to retire with. So I figured it was time I give up racing and try to get a little more serious on the business. And that was up at Rollerball. That's when Ronnie first started racing. That was his first year. And I went out in the first race. I come in and I turned the key. Back then they had the old Ford rear ends, had keys and the hubs on them. And I turned the key and it come in and I fixed that. Well, the next race I went back out and I broke an axle. Well, the only way on them Fords you could change the axle, you had to split the whole rear end apart and everything, pull the axle from the inside out. And, well, I didn't have any help, so I grabbed Don's tractor over there and rolled the car over in the pits, and so I could get at it, split the rear end apart, change the axle, put it back in, went out and blew the engine up. Kind of forgetting when I rolled the car over to all the oil drained out of the motor. And Ronnie stood over there scratching his head. Figured his new friend was kind of stupid, I guess. I enjoyed it all, or 99% of it all. I enjoyed it. It was a good life, and I don't think I'd want to do it over, or I wouldn't want to change it if I did.
Yeah. And tell Randy why your first number was 7/8.
Because of Dean Layfield. He had 9/16, and my first number was 7/8, and I went to the racetrack and they didn't want no more fractions, so I had to change my number.
And the reason you were inspired to get 7/8 was
Dean Layfield.
So Dean really was
my first,
the second best driver you've ever seen?
Yes, he was my first idol.
Okay.
Then Ronnie Blackmer was my second idol.
Here we go now.
This is unbelievable.
Ladies and gentlemen, Skip Furlow.